Today we've got the opportunity to really meet passengers from the time of booking right the way up to when they travel, in the airport, after their flight, following up at home. Hugely exciting. We've got increasingly sophisticated consumers. They know their brands. They're often connoisseurs in their subject. It's not like we have to tell them what they want to buy anymore. We need to meet their expectations. And retailers that do that, they're going to be fine. And finally, emerging markets, which is what I really want to touch on very briefly. As coined by The Economist, we've got Colombia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Egypt, Turkey and South Africa.
What I'm going into will be a little bit different from the CVA countries because we have a lot of passengers, 23 million passengers a year in Copenhagen Airport, but mostly not necessarily exactly those passengers are the biggest groups of passengers. In an airport, there are 3 drivers for doing retail. One is the passenger footfall. This is historically probably the thing that airports has been most responsible for and felt most responsible for developing because lots of passengers, of course, means lots of sales. But there are a couple of other drivers. There's the dwell time that each passenger would have in the airport. The higher the dwell time, the higher sales. And there is then the passenger relevance that the retail or the food and beverage units would have towards the passengers. Now, historically, airports, as I said, they would go into developing the passenger footfall. Today and during the last 3-4 years, Copenhagen Airport has been much more focused on developing the dwell time, so securing that security queues are not too long, securing that passengers would come through without being stressed so that they are ready to shop. We look at our passengers, we research each passenger, we talk to them to hear what is the potential, where are we missing out on sales. And when we get that potential right, of course, we start correcting the shop and brand mix. So we are very keen on promoting not only brands that are local, but also our wooden flooring, which gives the Scandinavian feel, the architecture, the design that gives a Scandinavian feel, to keep that clear. But also brand-wise, to have those Scandinavian brands to give the sense of place. That's meant for our international passengers. Within 2012, 2013, we have been developing a program to really welcome sincerely and in an extraordinary way the Chinese passengers. Chinese are the biggest spenders in Copenhagen Airport. They're spending 6 times more than an average passenger in Copenhagen Airport. We launched this year CPH Retail Academy. CPH Retail Academy is a place where we train and we give the offer to each shop employee to come get trained in sales, but even more in service, to get to know the different international guests that we welcome in the airport. And it's very different from what people might experience downtown. We did, lately we just launched a Chinese app for Chinese passengers. Chinese passengers love to plan their travel. They love to plan their way through an airport. They love to plan also the shopping before they leave their own country.
And of course, the trend that we all are very much aware of, and Christina picked up on that, is that we're all becoming older. I think it's something like, I think in the next few years, over 50% of the European Union will be over the age of 65. And in America, every 7 seconds, someone turns 50, thank goodness. But we're becoming more urban, which is more about the cities getting bigger. Again, that picks up on how sophisticated we are. The more urban we become, the more we expect, the more we change. And of course, Lisa again picked up on the emerging markets. That's not going to change. That's only going to get bigger and bigger. And that's not just China. It's the BRIC economies. It's right across the world. Another trend that's coming through is called hybridization, which is really where we see retailers being quite sophisticated in doing a mix-up match. So again, this is picking up on that trend. I was talking about how our retailers are becoming our consumers are becoming so sophisticated. They really are looking for something a bit more, it's no good just giving them normal or what they've seen for the last 10 years. They want to really sex it up. Let's make this really different. And this is this trend. This actually is a Starbucks store that's kitted out like a library. So, it's moving away, it's branding, but at the same time it's moving away from branding. Same time, this one is in Seoul, and it is, I'm trying to remember the name of it, it's basically a mobile phone store where they have incorporated a coffee shop, and these funny little pods you see above them are to test the mobile phones out so that nobody can actually hear you. So one of the things I think about being coffee shops, quite nice to overlisten, but there you go. They want to keep it quiet and private.
No, okay, I think as we've already touched upon, mobile, the way people are interacting, the way they are networking, the way they're communicating with everybody, the mobile device is absolutely critical to everything we're doing, and especially from a retail perspective. And what you'll find is things like Apple Passbook and the Google Wallet are going to become absolutely critical, and people, it's where you're going to store all of your airline tickets, your train tickets, all of your coupons, your loyalty cards, and that's the way that you will transact. It's also the way you can scan things like QR codes, and you can look at things in terms of online reviews and actually become part of that tribe, so you can really see what people like, and you can like it too and buy it.
Some figures about our company. We are managing the 14th largest railway stations in Italy, but we are also operating abroad because we handle Prague Central and Maria Skelas stations in Czech Republic. We are covering more or less the more important cities all around Italy. We handle around 700 million contacts each year. We have an investment program of about 900 million euros of accumulated investment. We have a turnover of 200 million euros. We handle 1.5 million square meters all over the 14 railway stations. So we are running at present moment 500 shops. And there will be 900 at the end of the refurbishment program. The high-speed train passengers have been increased by 75% from high-speed introduction in 2009 in Italy. The shares of Rome-Milan, that is the most important track in Italy, passed from 40% in 2009 to 66%. So that is, as I said, a huge impact also on the profile, because currently we are handling a target of customers that is increasing also in terms of quality. Currently we are handling a target of customers that is increasing also in terms of quality. First of all, we handle people that are socially active. The concentration index with respect to the Italian population are very interesting because, for example, for the high income level and the high use of credit cards, the concentration index are far more from 2.5 times the Italian average population. This kind of target have a high use of internet, a high level of education. The index is more than 3 times the Italian population average concerning the high-speed target. And in terms of the general figures, we cover the 16% of the Italian population. That means that 8.2 million single visitors per year, so that becomes 700 million people by the frequency. We are investing, as I said, 900 million euros in refurbishing the stations, and we are making it by integrating the old values with the new elements. It comes out a very theatrical and very interesting environment in which shops are into generally a very important monument in Italy, so the general environment is very nice. We dedicate around 50% of the spaces to retail, 30% of the space to food and beverage, and around 20% to general services that could be conventional and unconventional. We have gym, we have a spa, we have medical center, we have chemistry and drugstore, because you have to consider that more than 20% of our customers are non-travelers. So it's important for us also to diversify the services into a station, not looking only at the retail development, but also at services.